Hello and welcome back to Chill Phil Gaming. We're a channel where we like to keep it calm. Hopefully it is a channel that you keep coming back anytime you need to kind of be centered, kind of find your center, kind of calm down and relax. I hope that you find that here. I hope you find it helpful. I've been finding these videos helpful, and just like look at some of the other videos. We're a new channel. I'm brand new. We got a whopping 6 subscribers, but hey, if you're one of those 6, I really appreciate that. I'm excited to see this channel grow, and I hope you are too. Will you help me? If you like the channel, please subscribe, keep coming back for more. Leave in the comments what I should be doing different. We're gonna play Universe Sandbox. I'm still pretty new at this game, but I find it very relaxing, and we're gonna kind of get right into it. We're gonna do something really interesting today. In 2018, Tesla launched the Tesla Roadster. There is a car in space. It is so cool, and we're gonna look at where it is today. And at the time of recording this, it's Leap Day. It's the only day that comes once every 4 years, and it's February 29th, 2024. We're gonna see where on February 29th, 2024, within the Universe Sandbox, because we can predict this, where the Tesla is, which is very exciting. And let's take a look at the simulation, the Tesla Roadster in space right now. Tesla Roadster in space. Here's a simulation that they have, and we're gonna slow it down so that we don't go too far quite yet. But we're gonna read this little part here. So on February 6, 2018, almost exactly 6 years ago, SpaceX successfully test launched their Falcon Heavy rocket. The dummy payload for this test was somewhat unusual, a Tesla Roadster electric car. SpaceX explained that it wanted a payload that was fun and without irreplaceable sentimental value. The Roadster's current trajectory will bring it beyond Mars, demonstrating the Falcon Heavy's ability to deliver a payload into an orbit that can reach the red planet. Okay, that's cool. And I'm gonna read down here. Our depiction of the Tesla Roadster in Universe Sandbox shows just the car. In reality, the Roadster is attached to the second stage of the Falcon Heavy center rocket and is about 4 times the mass. However, the trajectory of the Roadster will be identical to its real trajectory because an object's gravitational acceleration is not affected by its mass. Okay, interesting, I didn't know that. Maybe I should, but hey, I'm a newbie at this game. I'm a newbie at learning things about space. But I've really grown to love space because my son loves space, and he watches a lot of videos about space, and he's 6. So he was born a little bit after the Tesla Roadster was launched. So it's been about in space about as long as my son has been alive. So that puts it in perspective for me. But okay, so we're gonna zoom out here. We're gonna see where the Tesla Roadster is in comparison to Mars. So the goal of this mission, as we see here, is to reach Mars's orbit. Okay, this red line here. So let's zoom in, let's look at the Tesla Roadster. Let's see what it looks like in the game. I'm having to zoom in quite a bit. Okay, here we go. We're gonna try to get a good view of it. And that's pretty awesome there. That thing is floating out in the vacuum of space. And there it is. That's so cool. It's just cruising along. It's doing its thing. It's probably going a lot faster than it could on Earth, but okay, let's zoom out and let's get this thing moving towards Mars, and we're gonna speed up time. Right now we're going about 6 minutes a second. Okay, it's almost reached Moon's orbit. We can see the date here. Now it's February 7th, 2018, so it just launched. It's been launched for about a day, and we're reaching Moon's orbit. We're gonna click up time here a bit, quite a bit. Okay, now we're going at like 20 hours a second. Okay, now we're cruising. And we're trying to see if we can reach Mars's orbit. And so let's zoom out, and we're gonna click it up time a little bit more. Now you can see it's separating from Earth's orbit, and it's reaching, it's on its way. The trajectory is on its way to Mars's orbit. And if it reaches Mars's orbit, then it's completed its task, right? So how long did that take, I wonder? So we launched in February 2018, and look at this. Look at this, it's reaching Mars orbit. Boom, right there, we're gonna pause time, boom. And we are at about July 13th. So like 5 months, took like 5 months to reach Mars orbit. And so that was a successful mission, right? That was the goal of the mission, is to reach Mars orbit, to see if Falcon Heavy could deliver a payload to reach Mars orbit. And they did that. They did that pretty quickly, actually. So we're gonna see actually if like there was ever a time where they like lined up, the Roadster and Mars like almost like could have crashed into each other. All right, now we're unpausing time. Here we go. We're gonna see if they actually lined up. We're gonna come up here a little bit quicker. Okay, we're going about a couple months per second. And okay, as you can see, we're past the Mars orbit, but the orbit is kind of, it's interacting, it's kind of going into Earth's orbit, back to Mars orbit. So it's kind of staggered in this way between Earth and Mars. And it looks like the Roadster is ahead of it, but because it goes further out than Mars here, it might come back just in time. So let's see. And we're looking, and look, check this out. They're getting real close, they're coming real close together. They might pass real close together. Wow, look at this, look at this, look at this, look at this. Slow it down and zoom in. And here they go. Here they go. Look, they're crossing. Boom, right there, crossed. That was close. Look how close. Kind of on a different plane here. See, look, Mars from this perspective is lower than the Roadster. And so yeah, look how close. Boom, just so close. Pretty cool that in the vastness of space, like you can get that close to making that happen. And the concerning part a little bit for me is like it comes back into Earth's orbit. And does that mean that they could crash here? But probably not. They're gonna be on a little bit of a different plane, but look, it was a little closer there. I have to trust that there's smarter people out there than me that have this all under control and they know what they're doing. That's what I hope anyway. That's all I can do. Okay, now we're gonna find where we are at February 29th, 2024. So we got about, we can see the date down here, January 29th, 2021. We got about 3 years to go. So we're gonna knock this up a little bit, a little faster here. And okay, now we don't wanna overshoot it. Okay, so 2023 to 2024, slow down, don't miss it. Okay, January 20, okay, we're getting close. We're gonna go a little quicker, but not too fast here in the time. Okay, we're getting close. We're coming up on February 29th, right? Okay, boom, 8:49, 8:50 a.m., here we go. And so this, my friends, is interesting because look, the Tesla Roadster is at Earth's orbit currently. And it is just, it looks like it's just like right behind us in the direction of our orbit, right? And that's where we are. That puts it in perspective where the Tesla Roadster is today. It's very fun. So let's move back here, zoom out. And also something that's interesting, it is actually like the furthest away it could be from Mars right now. Like Earth is closer to Mars than the Roadster. And it is actually, the sun is almost like basically right in the middle between Tesla and Mars. Maybe the Tesla can't even see, I don't know how that works, but maybe can't even see Mars. But anyway, so here's what I find interesting, right? The goal of this mission, how you would determine whether or not this mission was successful and whether we got progress on our goal with Falcon Heavy, is to reach Mars orbit. But if you looked at the mission or progress of the mission from today's perspective, and you didn't have any other picture, you would say, oh, failed mission, right? It's not where it's supposed to be. In fact, it's very far from where it's supposed to be. When in reality, the mission was successful 5 months after launch. It reached Mars' orbit. Falcon Heavy was able to deliver a payload that could do that, which is awesome. And that was the goal. But sometimes in our life, and I find this helpful, we find that we aren't where we had originally intended to be, where we had originally determined would make a successful mission. We find ourselves maybe back even far away from that point, in a place that we found ourselves too often before that we wish we weren't, and kind of trailing where we want to be. But in reality, like that's the cycle, right? That's a bit of a cycle. Sometimes we need to go back. Sometimes it feels like a slip back or a step back, but in reality, what we see here, we know, because we just saw it, the Roadster has a history. It had a history that got it to this point. It had a history that included progress, that included a successful mission. And that is something that we always need to remember. If we feel like we've slipped back into a place that maybe isn't a place that's good for us, or we don't determine is a healthy place for us to be, We have been in the healthy place before. We know how to get back there. It actually is progress because we've learned from our history how we've been back there before and how to get back there again. And so sometimes we fail to offer ourselves some grace. We get down on ourselves when we're in a place that we go, this isn't progress. This isn't where I originally intended to be, but you were there and you can get there again. And so we're on our way. We're always on our way. Whether it feels like we've slipped, whether it feels like we've taken a step back, we haven't taken a step all the way back because we've been here before. And we can now recognize that we're not where we want to be. And that is how we determine where we want to be, is asking the question, who do we want to become? The question, who do we want to become, helps us determine the trajectory of our lives, just like the trajectory of the Roadster. We know, as we can even see here, because we got these little lines that help us see the history and also where it's probably going to end up again, the trajectory is pretty predictable if we determine the final goal. And the same thing is true about our lives. If we determine who do we want to become, then we can say, am I on that way? Am I on that way? And while I may have slipped, maybe I've taken a step back, the decisions I've made today is putting me right in line to where I want to go, to cross lines with Mars' orbit, right? And so that way we can offer ourselves some grace. You've been here before. You know what it takes to get here. You've seen your history, and you also know what it takes to get to where you want to go. And that, my friends, is hope. That, my friends, is something that we can think about and be glad for. And let's move forward time a little bit and listen to some calm music as we see the Roadster cross with Mars' orbit yet again. We are coming in line with Mars' orbit. The Roadster, as far as the Roadster knows it, is getting closer to where it has originally intended to be. And that's good news. It's good news that life is pretty predictable. That we can kind of predict, yeah, there's a lot of variables, but the variables are all kind of the same. And how we interact with those variables really do determine where we're going, our trajectory. And because we've fallen maybe many times, struggled many times, we're getting to learn how those variables affect our trajectory more and more. And friends, that is good news. That is good news. Because we can always come back around, just like the Roadster is always going to come back around. There are always second chances. There is an infinite number of chances in our life to get it right. And each time we come back around, we move our trajectory closer and closer to who we want to become. And that is good news. And with that, we're going to end this video. Thanks for joining me. I'm so glad that you made it here. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. And subscribe for more. Would love to have you back. Leave in the comments what I should know about Universe Sandbox. I'm still pretty new at this game and I'm learning. So would love to have you here again. Thank you for coming back. Until next time, keep it chill. Bye.